Hey guys, so I have been missing in action for like essentially the past week. Yes, I did post 2 videos. That is not enough for me. That's not the kind of content output I like. I like to post more than twice a week. But life has been kicking my butt. And I think the week before that as well, I didn't post much content, like not as much as I wanted. And that's not what I want to bring to you guys because it does just put a bit of a damper on things. Like I feel like then I'm like spending another week like catching up on things because I still want to talk about them and it's just whatever, but life has been kicking my bottom. And I think this week is like a restart, refresh for me. You know, sometimes when like you hit a bit of a bottom, you know when I told you guys I hit my car on a pillar, then I go to the gym, one of my tires is flat, I don't know why. I check the tread on my tires, it's not great, I'm just a girl, I don't know. So I don't have my car and I live in a place where like I can't get anywhere without a car essentially, and I also don't have a bike, just in case anyone was like, do you have a bike? I don't. And so I'm a bit stuck, and life things like personal issues and just like stuff's been kicking my butt, and all of it just seems so surface level, but it's just, you know, when like you have little problems, it's like death by 100 cuts, 1,000 cuts. It's like, I was just like, okay, what else? And then I think now I'm kind of, okay, I don't want to jinx it. Knock on wood. I don't want to jinx it, but like I'm kind of trying to have a little reset. This is my first video back where I'm kind of like, okay, I'm a little bit more organized and ready. So I'm sorry that you guys didn't get content last week. You got 2 videos that were like late anyway. And now I'm just kind of getting back on it. My camera's wonky. Today we're talking about HRH Collection. I've never spoken about her, but she is someone that I've been aware of for ages. Even before kind of she blew up on TikTok, I kind of already knew who she was. The introduction I had to HRH Collection was through Abby Shop, who is a nutritionist on YouTube. And she is more of like the intuitive eating, there is no good or bad food, fat shaming is never okay, which it isn't, but that's kind of her outlook on things. So that's Abby Shop, and I remember at the time she reacted to one of HRH's videos on YouTube, because HRH Collection used to be a YouTuber, like she used to do YouTube videos.
I don't know why I said used to. She still is a YouTuber. I guess I said used to because now she's most known for her TikTok account, but she is still a YouTuber, but she was a YouTuber at the time to like promote her jewelry line and like create a parasocial relationship.
And I think all of it was to promote her jewelry line, which a lot of people are getting it wrong, saying that this is like a new merch drop she has, almost like she blew up on TikTok and therefore she made jewelry. Like, no, I'm pretty sure, well, first of all, I know for a fact she's had jewelry for years. She's had the collection forever, and then she's just been updating ever since. It's just my idea that it used to be kind of more higher quality, or it was supposed to be higher quality, and then now it seems to have gotten cheaper because she blew up on TikTok, and it's an easy way for her to be able to make a lot of money while she's kind of viral on TikTok. But she's had the collection for ages, and she used to do YouTube videos that didn't get like massive views, but it'd be like up to 100k per video, and it would just be used to talk about herself and build more of a parasocial relationship while also promoting and always wearing her jewelry and showing it off. And she was more of like a lifestyle, like you kind of buy into the whole HRH collection of it all. And so at the time she was filming a lot of YouTube videos, and she had a weight loss journey. She lost a bit of weight, and then she did a video on essentially how she lost weight, and it was, she basically just said like, I don't want to be fat, that's her phrasing, I don't want to be fat, and so I just ate less, I fasted, and I've lost weight, and that's how I'm happy, and that's how I want to be. And the thing is, back then she was quite inflammatory. She would still say very controversial things, but it was nothing like what she says now. I feel like we've really, like, when people thought she was controversial back then, I don't know what they would say if they saw her now, because now she's like super controversial, okay? So back then she was just like, I don't want to be fat, I want to lose weight, I fasted and I didn't eat. And here we are, I guess. Like, she didn't eat carbs, like the typical diet culture of it all, just like didn't eat carbs, fasted, tried to eat in as little of a time window as possible, and then tried to just eat as little calories as possible with a big like quantity of food but low calorie. Abby Shop reacted to it and was basically like, this is diet culture talking, it's perpetuating diet culture. I'm kind of on 2 sides of things, where I think HRH is allowed to want to lose weight, and she's allowed to do it however she wants to do it. You know, if she wants to be unhealthy about it and do all this stuff, then that's her prerogative. It becomes an issue when you bring it to the public and you say, you want to lose weight like me? This is how you should do it. Because then you're perpetuating diet culture. It's like, I don't really care if she is in the middle of diet culture and she wants to live life that way and not eat carbs and think, you know, whatever she thinks. But it's just when she brings it to the public eye that then I kind of get Abby Shop's point of like, you have young girls watching you who saw that you were never really overweight to begin with, and it was more of like an aesthetic thing that you were doing, and then to then not do it in a healthy way and just try and do a diet culture diet crash type of thing, crash diet is what it's called, is not healthy for anyone's psyche. And I agree. And then I think HRH responded, and it was this whole like back and forth. And that's when I figured out who HRH Collection was. And I remember she was already promoting the jewelry at the time. And then I forgot about it. And then suddenly I started seeing like edits of HRH on TikTok, where people would take clips of her YouTube videos and repost it on TikTok, or make little montages of the female rage is what they were calling it, where you're just as a woman super angry and like shouting, screaming in the car. And
or for your child? Is that what you're telling me, you lying, pandering, holier than thou? You, okay? That is not true. You would never choose that, okay? It is a tragedy. TRAGIC, tragic! I said it and I will say it again.
Some of it was pretty funny. I think at the beginning it was all very just like mellow. No. Some of it was inflammatory, but a lot of it was more just like her shouting, screaming, calling people idiots like for driving wrong, or like someone hit her car or something. And it was a lot of like, yeah, I can kind of relate to this like anger that you feel inside of you. And then you start seeing little slips, and then it just, I think, I don't know where I sit on HRH Collection, because I think a lot of it is rage bait for sure. And I'm making a whole rage bait video on my second channel for like beauty related things, but I think a lot of it is rage bait for sure. She is basically saying more and more inflammatory things than the thing before, just to see how far she can push it, and how much people will repost, and how many views she can get, and how much engagement she can farm off that. And so I think some of it is definitely rage bait, but I think to a certain extent she also is that, right? Like she started out being quite inflammatory a few years ago. This was like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. And she realized like the more you push it, but I think it's like she realized the more you push it, the more engagement you get, which is the rage bait of it all. But I also think her personality just got more and more, you know, you can't be that angry and not get more angry and more angry and more angry. Mainly when you're getting validated for it, right? So you get the views and you get the likes, and so then you become more angry as a person. Like, where is I think the line between fake online persona and real life person gets very blurred. It gets very blurry, where she doesn't really know, like, is this actually what I believe, or is this just what I'm shouting and screaming into the void because I think it's going to get me views? And so I'm starting to lean towards the fact that she actually is this person. Like, I don't think this is just purely rage bait. Like, I think it is rage bait just as a basic fact. Like, it's rage bait. It is rage that baits you to engage with it. Yes, absolutely. But I also think people give her a lot of the benefit of the doubt with like, oh, she probably doesn't believe any of this stuff. Like, she just says it just to say it. But I think this is who she is. Mainly because I've actually looked into it, and she has done a lot of long form content, like going on other people's podcasts. And so then for an hour to 2 hours at a time, in a calm speaking voice, she doesn't shout a lot when she's a guest on other people's podcasts. She says the same things. And so then clearly, if she's not saying it in this like clipped short form way, either she's the best actress of all time and is just maintaining this character for 2 hours straight very calmly, or this is actually who she is now. And she did kind of pivot. I think she used to just be inflammatory, which used to be the thing, like be kind of edgy, rage baity, kind of, you know, inflammatory, just causing a little bit of like a reaction. And that then quite quickly can turn into just being extremely right-wing. And this is not like more of like a, who do you vote for? That's not what that is. It's just like the stereotype of right wing and left wing, right? So like, it doesn't matter who you actually vote for. It doesn't actually matter what any of that means. It's just the inflammatory to right wing pipeline. That's what it is. And so now she's doing the whole, you know, I want a manly man and I want to be a trad wife and I am traditional. And she's actually pregnant right now. I don't know if she's actually given birth. I remember her being pregnant at some point in time. And then I've spoken recently on the trad wife fad of like people pretending to be trad wives without actually ever living like a trad wife. And when I look at HRH Collection, she isn't a trad wife. She's not. She's got her own company and she makes rage bait content on TikTok. Like, if I look at my nan, right, like my grandma or something, she didn't make rage bait content. Like, she just baked and she cooked and she got pregnant and she gave birth, and she baked and she cooked and she gave birth and she got pregnant, the other way around. Like, our nans who are trad wives, like as trad wife as they could be, they were not making rage bait content on TikTok, you know. And that's another thing. It's like I'm not a feminist, but also I speak my opinion on a public platform, run my own business, make my own money, don't rely on a man of it all. You know what I mean? Like, it's people love to throw around statements and buzzwords, but actually live the complete opposite. It's like the red pill guys who are like, I don't want this new modern woman, I want a trad wife, but they date nothing but Instagram baddies and then don't also live like trad men. So there is just a lot of that going on right now, where she's down this pipeline of like this right-wing, red-pilled, I don't even know if it's right, kind of like this right-wing, red-pilled of it all. I don't even know how to, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just throwing around a bunch of statements and I'm hoping like some of it sticks in your guys' brain and you guys know what I'm talking about. But that's the pipeline that she did. So she used to just be inflammatory, and now she's like where she is now. Her most offensive thing that I think I saw was she was in a shopping center. She calls it a mall because she's American. And she basically said that she had an issue with a group of adults walking around the mall who were developmentally disabled, is what she said. Now, I don't even know if that is the correct way of saying that, but because she couldn't quite pinpoint what these adults were, what they were doing, who they were, what conditions they had, she just said, oh, they're all developmentally disabled. And they were bothering her. And she said that they were not in a public place, which just factually incorrect, and that why do I have to see tragedy? As if anyone with any sort of condition, diagnosis, any sort of anything isn't allowed in the same space as her, because she's like too good for it and she's too developmentally developed for that, I guess, in her own words. It was crazy to me to hear that, because like I said, she used to make inflammatory content, and there is the rage bait of it all and the female rage shouting at other car drivers in traffic, and like we've all felt that rage inside that she would sometimes unleash and you could relate to. And then there is just being an awful human being. And these same people are always like pro-life and you know, like get pregnant, have loads of kids, but then like God forbid your kid comes out disabled. God forbid, you know? Let's bring God into this. Like, it all interlinks in my head, and I feel like now I'm just like saying things at you guys, but it all links in my head of like, she's this like, let's be traditional, trad men, trad wife, I'm pregnant for my man, he put a ring on my finger, pro-life, BS. But then she walks around a shopping center and is upset because she sees disabled people walking around the same public space as she is walking. And it's like that clip of Steven Crowder where he was making fun of, I believe, maybe like an ad with a woman who maybe had Down syndrome, I'm pretty sure. I can't actually remember the full details of it, but it was something along those lines. And him and his bunch of morons were basically just making fun of her. Just not because there was anything inflammatory happening. It was simply an advertisement on TV with a woman who had Down syndrome in it. And they were like, oh, you know, just saying a bunch of inflammatory stuff. And I think I even saw some like right-wing people say like, this is actually disgusting, because as a man who is pro-life, like God forbid one of your kids is disabled, because then what will you do? What, just abandon them on the side of the street? Like what now? You know? And it's just so like, this is also what I mean. It's like, how many of these people actually are doing this for rage bait, and how many of them have become so inflammatory and so angry at life that they are just angry about everything. You're angry about someone having Down syndrome and being on TV. Like, oh my God. You know what I mean? She's angry because she's walking around a shopping center and she sees disabled people. Like, is there anything you're not angry about? Is there anything? No, I'm angry about her being angry, and then this is the full circle of it all. I'm saying the full circle of it all. Like, have you guys noticed I'm saying of it all about a bunch of stuff, and you can just tell I watched too much Cancelled. Oh my God. Okay, so she's had a jewelry collection this whole time, and she recently released a new collection of these like pen cap necklaces. And she said they're all handmade, and she claims all her jewelry is handmade, but it's literally just been found on like Alibaba and like some fast fashion websites where you can drop ship them, and they're the exact same colors, the same size, the same everything. So they're obviously not
real Barbie necklaces, and it's your choice of the pink or the emerald, and they're so detailed. Look at the halo around, and then the bail is actually a little pear, a little tear. So they're really, really detailed, super gorgeous. Those. So don't miss out on this. You guys love my stocking stuffers every year. This is something that I plan for basically all year round, coming up with things, finding things that you guys are gonna love, and the quality has to be like there, you know what I mean? Never have to take it off. So classic. For so cheap. This is solid metal, so it's not like piece of crap, like you know, it's not like plastic like it should be, right? But here are the other colors. So gold, really cool, just like if you just are an all gold person, or pink. So pretty. I don't even want to talk about it because half of you guys are so fucking dumb, it doesn't matter. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, like, I honestly feel bad for you. Like, I cannot. I also like to do like affordable, beautiful, like quality things. This is my petals, crystal petals necklace. It's a cross. And the baguettes look like petals from a flower, and it's just ghetto. It's just ghetto. It's just ghetto. Ghetto, 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 ghetto. Okay, like I'll say the.
And then she recently posted a kind of response to that.
You know, I'm really sick of like the rumors about like me not making the jewelry. Like I'm actually sick and tired of it. Like anyone OG knows the fuck. Like honestly, it's not even, like it's something that makes me so mad because it's not true, and people love to like spread lies because they love to discredit me. Since day one, like people have loved to discredit me because like no one can do what I do. Like everyone tries to do what I do and like you fail because it's just like you don't get it, okay? Like you don't get it. It's not like something you can, I don't want to talk about it. It's something weird. Like it makes me so mad about the lies I spread, like that I don't make the jewelry. It really fucking pisses me off. Everyone knows I do. Like it's just fuck you. So what was I getting with this? Okay, so what I was saying earlier is this, bitch. Is like, I'm actually really sick and tired of the rumors going around about me not making the jewelry. Like, it's actually really, like, it's like something about Alibaba. And I'm gonna like, I never ever address rumors, but it's just like something that hurts my feelings, to be honest. Because you guys know I hand make, like, basically 90% of the line. Like, do you see what a fucking liar you are? I cannot stand the delusion.
To me, it sounds like ironic, almost like she knows she's not making handmade, like not releasing handmade jewelry, but she's just keeping up with this character. And people are claiming that she is blocking anyone who mentions that it's not handmade, it's actually drop shipped. Oh, that's another thing, you know, it's really funny how like edgelord content to right-wing red-pilled pipeline, and then it went from like releasing handmade jewelry, allegedly, I don't know if it was actually handmade back in the day, but I think the quality was much better back in the day is what people said, to now drop shipping. Like drop shipping is the most red-pilled stuff you can do. So that pipeline, all of that actually tracks. And it's crazy because I've seen people talk about this before where you can hear someone say one or two things and predict all of their other beliefs and all of their other life choices. And so like the fact that she did this whole tradwife, trad life, red-pilled content and then also started drop shipping products, it all adds up and it all makes sense. I'm so happy that I've never bought anything from her, and I will continue to not do that, not waste my money on that. But yeah, if you guys see her jewelry, don't be fooled. Oh, and also she's selling her jewelry for like $100 per piece. So these like necklaces that she's releasing are like $100, but on Alibaba there are 35 cents per product. So that's a beautiful profit margin for her, if that's what she feels good doing. Let me know what you guys think about any of this. Subscribe with the bell icon for engagement. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.